Hello and welcome to Jarrad United, one stop for everything Manchester United. I'm here to bring you all the latest news concerning Manchester United, as we have some news concerning a new bid for Jarrad Branthwaite. We're going to talk about how much that bid is going to cost, and also Marc Guehi and Wan-Bissaka swap deal coming out this afternoon. More details on that. And also Ten Hag spoke about INEOS yesterday. Some very juicy comments he made about INEOS and the whole managerial situation that he went through a few weeks back. And also, Mason Greenwood exit is getting closer and closer, even more than Jason Sancho's own. And we have other news to talk about, from new striker targets, and also some news concerning Pelestri. And also, Ten Hag made also a comment on Marcus Rashford. So stay tuned for everything. Don't forget, leave a like on this video, share this video so we can get to as many people as possible, and leave a comment in the comment section concerning every topic discussed today. Let's get straight into everything. Starting with Jarrad Branthwaite, any moment from now, minutes, seconds, hours, days, a new bid for Jarrad Branthwaite is expected to go in from United. We know that last week made a bid of around £42 million in total. 35 plus 8 in add-on was put in last week and it was rejected by Everton. Now United are expected to go in with a bid of around 50 million upfront and 10 million in add-on. A total package of 60 million is expected to go in for Jarrad Branthwaite, but it could be 45 plus 15, 50 plus 10. You know, that's in that order. But a 60 million total package is expected to go in for Branthwaite this week, and we will see what happens with that deal, because United have made it clear that they are not going to overpay. INEOS, the board, we are not going to overpay. If they probably do not accept this 50 plus 10 deal, we are probably going to move on to other targets, because we're not going to pay more than 60 million in total for Jarrad Branthwaite. Everton wants 70 million, but United do not want to pay up to 70 million for him. So a new bid for Jarrad Branthwaite, 60 million in total, is expected to go in today. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be next. But this week, a new bid is definitely going to go in, because we can't. We made a bid middle of last week. We have to come up with another one this week so that we can get that deal going. Hopefully, get him as our first transfer for this summer. But if that doesn't work out, we have other options to look at, from Jinkle Todibo, Marc Guehi, and many other targets. And moving straight on to Marc Guehi and Wan-Bissaka, we had some news coming out today about a swap deal. It says Aaron Wan-Bissaka could be included in United's attempt to sign Marc Guehi from Crystal Palace this summer. And that is according to some reports that claims that United are willing to offer the right back in an attempt to lower Palace's asking price for Marc Guehi. It is said that they currently value the England international at £50 million. Wan-Bissaka joined United after coming through the Eagles Academy for £40 million. So if we are going to offer Wan-Bissaka alongside some money for Marc Guehi, maybe it could be Wan-Bissaka plus 30, Wan-Bissaka plus 20, Wan-Bissaka plus 25, something of that sort. I don't see that deal happening, but this was coming out this afternoon. So you can take that news with a pinch of salt. But yeah, we're here to talk about the news, and we're going to talk about every news, true or false, that we see from good sources on the internet. So what do you think about Marc Guehi swap for Wan-Bissaka swap for Marc Guehi? Leave that in the comment section. And also, Ten Hag spoke about INEOS yesterday. He spoke about the whole issue that happened before it was officially announced that he's going to continue at the club. And he says, Man United told me that they spoke with Thomas Tuchel, and yes, they spoke to several candidates. He said that they eventually came to a conclusion that they already have the best manager, and so that's it. Ten Hag feeling himself, right? He also said, Man United flew into Ibiza to tell me that I was going to stay. They disturbed my holiday, and they suddenly stood at my doorstep. He also said, INEOS are new into football, so it's normal to take their time and reflect the season. And in England, it is allowed. But he said in the Netherlands, it is not allowed, having a manager and then speaking to other managers while the manager is still in the job. He also says, I'm in talks with United over a new deal, so it's true, we have to negotiate in order to reach an agreement. So, in all, Ten Hag said they spoke to other managers, he was aware of that, but in the end, they flew to Ibiza to tell him that, bros, we want to keep you, you are our best option, and let's give you a new contract. So, that's very good for Ten Hag, but he's here making some noise. I hope they give him a good summer, and then next season he has to prove it on the pitch. Because if he doesn't do it next season, he could easily be sacked. And nobody will complain if he gets sacked next season. Nobody would complain at all. So all the talk, the summer transfer is here. After the summer transfer window, let's see what Ten Hag can achieve with the squad he will get next season. And going to Greenwood and his fast approaching exit. Yesterday we heard about Valencia putting a bid of £25 million for Greenwood. I don't know if that's true. We had no concrete support of that story. Fabrizio Romano said nothing about that. David Johnson said nothing about that. But it's been reported that Man United are in talks with several clubs concerning Greenwood and Sancho, and it says Greenwood's probable departure is more advanced than Sancho's, with United engaged in multiple clubs over both forwards. Man United are speaking to several clubs concerning Greenwood and Sancho, but Greenwood's exit is getting more closer than in Sancho. No surprises, Greenwood is really picking up interest from other clubs, so I won't be surprised if he leaves first before and then Sancho. But as long as we're trying to sell both of them to raise money to do other business, that is fine by me. And then in terms of having two forwards leaving, we are getting some updates concerning our new striker targets. These players have been mentioned before anyway, but we are because once we sell these two players, we'll be looking at signing a new striker to replace a new forward to replace them, right? So according to what we're getting here, he said Ivan Toney and Jonathan David remain of long-term interest to United, while they also consider less established names such as Hoffenheim's forward Maximilian Baer, depending on how much they make from projected player sales. Depending on how much we make from players like Sancho and Greenwood, that will determine what kind of striker we will go for. Ivan Toney is going to cost around £60 million. Jonathan David will cost around €20 million. The Hoffenheim striker might cost around 20 million euro too. I think Jonathan David might cost maybe up to 30, but you see how cheap they are compared to players like Ivan Toney and every other players who might want to go for. So let's see what happens. We need to really step up on our sales, and then when we know how much we're going to raise from sales, that will determine what we get. Because even if we sign Branthwaite, we can't have Branthwaite, Johnny Evans, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Willy Kambwala, all in centre back position, Lisandro Martinez. No, once we sign Branthwaite, we have to sell players like Maguire, Johnny Evans, Lindelof, those kind of players, and then getting another centre back. But if we don't sell any of those players, if we sell only one centre back and bring in Branthwaite, I don't think we'll get another centre back. So we have to sell at least two centre backs to bring in two new centre backs also. But let's see what happens with that. But coming out this afternoon, Pelestri is attracting interest from Brazilian side Flamengo. This is according to reports from a Uruguayan journalist. He says that the club wants to sign the winger, but no further details have been provided. Remember, Pelestri was on loan at Granada last season and didn't really do wow. He went on loan and nobody talked about him, so I don't think he performed beautifully well. He didn't perform well. Because if you go on loan and are doing very well, you will be the topic of the town. But nothing ever happened. So Pelestri will leave. Ten Hag doesn't rate him. Even player like Ahmad might even leave also. But Pelestri will definitely leave. Ten Hag doesn't rate him. Doesn't want to stay. He should go. He will probably move on to places where he can get regular first team football. And let's see what happens with that. But Flamengo are very much interested in Facundo Pelestri. Talking about Ten Hag's comments on Marcus Rashford, he said that Marcus Rashford deserved to be left out of the Euro 2024 squad, and definitely that's true. He didn't really perform too well, and you have to pick players that did very well in the whole season. Grealish also wasn't picked. Grealish had 3 goals and 1 assist in the Premier League. Rashford had 7 goals and 1 assist in the Premier League. You can't compare that to players like Phil Foden that performed way better than both of them. So Ten Hag, according to him, both players deserve to be dropped. They didn't perform well, they didn't do well, and they need to pick themselves up and perform way better next season. And that's nothing against Ten Hag or against Marcus Rashford. It is what it is. You didn't do well, you are not going to be picked. As simple as that. But yeah, Ten Hag is saying that after all the whole search for a new manager, they didn't see anyone they liked. They didn't see anyone that matched him, and they came back to him and be like, "You are the best, and we want to keep you." And now he's here. So let's see what happens with Erik Ten Hag and his future. But remember, new bid for Branthwaite expected to go in very soon. Marc Guehi and Wan-Bissaka swap. Is something happening there? Ten Hag, of course, has said his mind against surrounding what happened with INEOS. Then Greenwood exit is likely to happen first before Sancho. The club are speaking to multiple clubs concerning the two players, and new striker targets like Ivan Toney, Jonathan David, and the striker of Hoffenheim, and also Pelestri to Flamingo, and Ten Hag saying that Rashford needs to pick himself up and play better, and he deserved to be dropped. So don't forget, this is Jarrad United, one stop for everything Manchester United. Do leave a like on this video, follow, share, and I will see you all on the next one.